Hey y'all, I just got home and I am so tired. Out here in California, we're having some fires as per usual in the mountains. So on the way home, there was a lot of smoke. The bus stopped. And of course, these bus drivers act like they got mental health issues, which I'm sure they do. But they don't communicate with you. You know what I'm saying? So we're just all sitting on the bus for like 10 minutes just looking at each other, and the bus driver not saying nothing. Finally, she told us to get off the bus. We waited outside for another 15 minutes. So I got home really late. And it's going to be time for me to go to bed soon. But I wanted to do this video because we need to talk about procrastination and actually where it really comes from. So this year, if we both are changing our lives in 365 days or making hella progress, we need to address the elephant in the room, which is procrastination. Do you know where it comes from? 9 times out of 10, it comes from childhood trauma. And a lot of times we're putting things off because we're overwhelmed, we're stressed. But why are we overwhelmed? Our central nervous system is not functioning like it should. Why is it not functioning like it should? It all goes back to childhood trauma. Some of us are perfectionists. We've been criticized since we were little kids. So now we have this voice in our head of criticism, which makes it where it's hard to execute anything because you overthink it. And I know it don't seem like it, guys, because a lot of times the childhood trauma, it grows with you. So by the time you're an adult, you might not see yourself as a child. You might not think you behave childlike. You might not think the stuff in your past bothers you. You might even think it's normal. But I'm telling you right now, sit with yourself and ask yourself, why do I procrastinate? Why am I putting this off? If you are a perfectionist, why do I overthink things? Why do I think it needs to be perfect? And then start searching in your childhood for times where things had to be perfect. Or when somebody made you feel like you putting your best foot forward wasn't good enough. Or another thing is just the overwhelm. Sometimes starting new projects, sometimes we just don't have the capacity to process all of that and to hold all that weight. Sometimes we're just feeling very heavy because we are depressed and we need deep rest. So that feeling of overwhelm or that feeling of depression and heaviness, track that feeling. A lot of times you can track that feeling all the way back and down into your childhood. Of times you felt overwhelmed, alone, frustrated. And if you pay attention and if you really look, a lot of times when we were kids, we had to deal with it though. We had to keep going. Kids are so freaking resilient. You, matter of fact, are resilient. Think about your younger self and all the stuff that you had to get through on your own without help or with very minimal help. Think about the weight that you had to carry, the secrets you had to bury at a very early age you couldn't share with nobody. Or think about when you did share stuff with somebody and how they treated you and how they acted towards you, or the punishment that was inflicted on you. Think about all that, how all that stuff is so heavy. Think about that. And you've been carrying it. It's like a heavy suitcase. You've been lugging it this whole time. Do you think that you've had rest in here? Do you think in your body you've really been able to rest? You've been in survival mode this whole time. And yeah, you might look around your adult life and feel like, well, I don't got nothing to show for, and you know, I'm not where I want to be, and you're frustrated, you're angry, or you feel like you don't deserve to rest, or you just frustrated because it's like, well, why I'm procrastinating. No, you have to heal. That's the thing. It's not about powering through the procrastination. First, you need to heal. This year, as we gentle parent ourselves, like with myself, if you go back into one of my older videos where I was boo-hooing and all that, That day I remember I had to gentle parent myself, where I had to recognize, like, I'm depressed today because you know what? I've been through a lot. I've been holding it down. I've been holding a lot. And I'm tired. And today I'm tired. And even though I'm sad, I'm going to let myself rest. I'm going to let myself cry it out today. I understand. I understand why I'm not able to execute things and why I'm not able to carry this big bag of responsibilities. Because I've been carrying it my whole life with no help. Help. So if we're going to heal this year, we got to get real with ourselves this year. We got to unpack this trauma. We got to unpack it and get down to the root of where it came from. Because knowledge is power, guys. Once you learn this and you can recognize this and you start seeing your little child and you start empathizing with yourself, instead of being like, oh man, I need to get it together. I said this year I'm going to get it together. Oh man, I should have did this. I should have did that. I hate that I wasted that time. God will restore the years. He will restore the time. You're okay. I think the biggest thing is for you to have that come to Jesus moment. For you to have that epiphany. That's the biggest thing. The only way that I would even agree that any time has been wasted if we continue to be walking blindly in the dark. Because then we are just like the Hebrew Israelites in the wilderness, walking in circles, wasting time for real. But just sit with yourself, journal, lay down, pray, whatever you need to do to really start digging into your childhood and not just glossing over some of these questions. But that procrastination, when did you first experience it? Or better yet, when you procrastinate now, how do you feel? Frustrated, overwhelmed, scared, anxiety. Track those feelings. When did that start? When did that begin? What other feelings feel similar to that? You gotta be a detective when it comes to childhood trauma. And when it comes to unpacking. I'm telling you right now, but it's worth it. And if we want to have a good 2025, and if we want to get some stuff done this year and actually turn our situation around, we got to get real with ourselves and we got to do some homework. Because obviously, what happened last year wasn't working. What happened the year before that wasn't working. That's the whole reason that we want to change our lives. That's the whole point. You see what I'm saying? So something wasn't working. So let's not do the same old stupid thing that we've been doing. We're going to have to keep it real with ourselves. So that was just on my heart to say. That's been on my heart all day to say to y'all. But I did not have time to do a video earlier. So I'm about to get some rest. I am so tired, like I said. And I will talk to y'all soon.